Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Signal. Today's video analysis is on Twitter Incorporated, symbol TWTR. This is a weekly bar chart of Twitter. I did record this video on Wednesday, December 16th, 2020. If you don't know anything about Twitter, I don't know where you've been for the last 10 years. It is an American microblogging and social networking service. People tweet, they post messages, so forth and so on. It's huge. It's been around since, I think, 2006, although the IPO on this chart shows 2013. And, if we take a look at the history, oh, by the way, before I jump into this analysis, I have to tell you about wickedsignal.com. Obviously, you've been there before. Please tell your investor and trader friends about wickedsignal.com. Have them go to the free subscription link, fill out their first name, last name, their email address, and they or you will receive a new email every single time a new video is posted. I don't fill your inbox with sales pitches, and I don't share your personal information with anyone outside the organization. So let's jump into Twitter. I actually am in the midst here. There's the early buy signal that can play out long term on this trade, on this stock rather, which I'll show you in a moment. But let's take a look at the extremes of this stock over the last 6-7 years. 74.73 was the 2014 high. 1372 in 2016, rallied to 47.79 in 2018. The COVID low, if you will, was $20 even in 2020. And then most recently this week, 56.11. That's the 2020 high so far. Now, let's take a look. You know that I'm really big on channel formations as trend identifiers and as buy and sell signals. In this case, we are in the very earliest stages of a buy signal. In fact, it was until Tuesday, December 15th, that the market actually penetrated this. So we have an intra-week violation of this long-term channel top that extends back several years of activity. And if we close above it, we have what I consider to be a long-term buy signal. Now, I am actually going to be posting this I'm kind of digressing here a little bit and getting off the point, but I'm going to be posting kind of a, effective stock trading video, user's guide video for Wicked Signal here in the next week or two. And in it, I do mention, and I'm just saying it because it is worth mentioning, that if we violate these levels within the week, because I'm always mentioning weekly settlement above, weekly settlement below. And while I do like to wait for the weekly settlement in terms of its finality, its sense of closure, a lot of the funds wait until Friday to make big decisions. You can act on these signals within the week. You could scale into a long position, for instance, if you scale trade. If you have a maximum allotment for a particular trade or a particular stock, you could buy a third, you could buy half, whatever the case might be, and then buy the balance on the Friday settlement above, assuming we get that. But let me talk about this formation actually. It is at 52.86 this week of Monday, December 14th. It rises to 53.01 the week of Monday, January 11th. Once again, these are 4 weeks apart. You can subtract these numbers out, divide by 4, and you have the rate at which that formation is rising at an ever so gradual basis. And if we close clearly above this formation on Friday, and by that I mean by at least a 1% margin, it is an arbitrary number, but it is one that works well, has for me for many years. It does, for instance, if we settled Friday at 52.89, that would essentially look like we are right on that formation. We do need a little breathing room above it to sort of clarity to give it legitimacy. So at this stage, on Friday, which is December 18th, if we close at 43.39 or higher, that would be a valid buy signal longer term. And we're presently trading at 54.03. Now, can you buy it prior to that? Certainly. But what you want to see then is a Friday settlement above 53.39, the 1% violation extended beyond that formation. And then we have, I think, a buy signal that can play out well into next year. I'm going to open this chart up a little bit, zoom in just a bit so you can see some of the nearer term stuff that's going on, and you can actually see this formation a little clearer. There you go, 52.86, 53.01, that is the channel. Now, I mentioned this rising channel top as sort of a patience tester, a trouble spot on the way up. So if you buy this stock based on this signal that I'm providing above 52.86, which I believe is a buy signal that can play out well into next year and quite possibly yield kind of the $75 to $85 range over the coming 9 to 12 months. I will show you that in a moment, but I'm throwing this channel top out here because there is a scenario here where we could certainly rally to 57.09 or that formation that this week is at 57.09, rises to 59.47 the week of Monday, January 11th. And once again, subtract those out, divide by 4, and you'll know exactly where that channel top is each and every week. That is an area where the market could certainly top out for a week, possibly a couple of weeks, and then back off to the 52.86 formation over that time frame. But so long as we continue closing above the 52.86 formation by at least a 1% margin, I'm seeing a double channel extension here as a clear possibility. And you can see that actually illustrated on this chart. So I use this as a target. It's not necessarily considered a strong area to sell into as a resistance, because it's more or less kind of a wave count where you extend the previous channel by 100%, and that comes in at 84.25 January of 21. It rises 85.5 July of 21, so forth and so on. Now, if you look at this formation, the one that we have just closed above, you can see some precedent here for waves that take 9 to 12 months. If you look at the April 2017 low, and then the roughly a year later, the spring 2018 high. I don't have those labeled. I did label them earlier. And then once again, we've got the COVID low in 2020, and then the most recent high over the summer in August and September. So, we're talking 8-9 months, possibly a full year out. So if we close above 52.86, what I'm saying here is we could actually reach that mid-80s over the course of 8 to 12 months. I think is a clear possibility. We could continue on a course as we have been since the March 20 low. And so I'm just kind of giving you the timing here of what I'm seeing. Is this a long-term trade? Certainly. And so if you're browsing Wicked Signal for kind of the 2 to 3 week signal, it is that. If you go back to this ascending channel top I showed you in the previous slide, 57.09 to 59.47, that is, what is that? It's about a 10% move. If it's 59.47, not a 20% move, but that's your 2 to 3 week play. But honestly, I would rather you just if you take some profits in that upper 50s, hold on to some, because I think that the settlement above the 52.86 formation at the end of this week, and even now that you can find that same formation on the daily chart, we are above it. So we are in the midst of a buy signal. Once again, though, you really want to see the weekly settlement. You want to see the weekly chart close out also above that formation for a clear confirmation that this market is likely to continue up into the mid-70s, the mid-80s over the next full year of trade. And what is the mid-70s? It's nothing more than that 2014 high I showed you at the opening of this video. And it is, you can see it right there, plainly illustrated, 74.73, all the way up in the mid-80s. I think that's a realistic objective over the next 8 to 12 months if we close this week above that 52.86 formation. Now, if we close below the 52.86 formation, I haven't shown you where I think this market could go because I'm not even prepared to do that. This is just a buy signal analysis. If we close the week Friday back below 52.86, all bets are off. No buy signal. This market can ease back. I'm going to say into the lower 40s again over the next several months, but we're not there right now. The purpose of this video was just to give you the heads up on what could be a nice buy signal well into 2021 for the stock Twitter, TWTR, with a weekly settlement Friday above 52.86 by at least a 1% margin, which is 53.39 or higher at the end of the week. And then I think we've got the 75 even to 85 even region as a viable objective into Q3, Q4 of 2021. And that is all that needs to be said for this particular Wicked Signal video.